welcome to the Manhood Neat Podcast. All right, guys, welcome aboard. We got all 5 of us. The table is full once again. We are super excited about it. Ben Lewis.
Good to see everybody. Thanks for having me.
Ben Son.
Good to be here. Thanks, Aaron.
Dylan.
Hi.
And Rob.
Hello.
All right, guys. We'll go in reverse order. Actually, you know what? We're going to mix things up. I'll go first.
Oh.
What's been going on since the last time we talked? For me, ranked up a little bit in Destiny, so that's been kind of cool. Been playing a little Titanfall 2 again. That's been good. Notice Benson never games anymore, so that's been sad. Other than that, 4th of July celebrations, that kind of stuff, just normal whatever, and just living the dream or the nightmare, whichever way you look at it. Rob, what's been going on?
Oh, not a whole lot this week, but I did have an amazing summer sausage brought to us by Plum Creek Wagyu.
Oh, Wagyu summer sausage?
A new sponsor.
Wait, I think I had. What was in it? Is there anything special about it?
There was jalapenos and a delicious cheese
Is
combination.
this Italian? Wagyu? What is Wagyu? Is that Italian?
I think it's French.
I
French?
believe it's from
it
the great island of Hapan.
Hapan?
Hapan.
This is painful
Japan.
right now.
Japan.
Japan.
I just found out that I said Kobe wrong tonight. So.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, so
Well, how
every time you've been playing basketball, you've been like, Kobe!
Kobe!
Been wrong.
wrong.
So, all right, Dylan, what's been going on, man?
I broke my ankle coming down your stairs today.
And also, I noticed you scratched my wall coming down.
Oh.
my
When I
stairs.
fell?
Yeah, so if you could fix that,
I'll fix that. I'm sorry. Did I really scratch it?
probably.
Oh. I don't know. I just know that I ate it hard.
Yeah,
He's making
that's
it.
true.
Does anybody know a good contractor that could fix that?
Yeah. Well, see, the bad thing is he's an exterior contractor, so he's going to have to
he doesn't do
subcontract
it.
it.
I'll have to. I'm going to GC that out. I need overhead and profit charged onto that, so that's 20% off the top.
But I just know that we were in here chit chatting, and all we hear is, and I just see in the mirror like a silver chair go flying in the air, and they were like, "Dylan, you okay?" Yeah, I fell, and then that was it for like 5 minutes. We're like, is he dead? Is he still alive? Like, what's going on?
Gravity hurts me a little bit more than a lot of you guys around here.
Yeah.
So when I fall not so gracefully.
Not so great.
You fall with purpose.
I fall with intent.
I thought it was graceful, man.
Thanks.
Benson, what's been going on, man?
Well, I just found out I'm going to build a bunker in my backyard with a bourbon tasting room and a gun range. So I'm pretty excited about that new venture that I'm on.
It's going to come in handy for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But no, I've been doing this farm gym with a guy on Saturday that lives a few miles from here. So I got farm gym tomorrow morning where we do manly things like strap logs to our waist and pull them 50 yards and
The reverse sled.
Cool.
do chin-ups on old wooden barns and take farm equipment and turn it into a gym. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that sounds
I
kind
thought
of cool.
you were gonna be like,
Nice
oh,
work,
no,
man.
I got this thing called Farm Gym, and he just charged me $10 an hour. But I go out and we dig fence post holes.
I'm throwing hay next week.
Throwing hay.
Hook up the horses to the plow.
Paying him to do his chores.
There's some guy that does that. He has a rehabilitation center where he basically just gets free labor out of these young kids that need to be whipped into shape. And their parents are like, please, 12
Brilliant.
weeks, make it 16.
Brilliant.
That's awesome.
Nice. Lewis, man, what's been going on?
Kind of like Ben, I've been working hard. Everybody's working hard at our house. For those that don't know, Seward, Nebraska is a big farming community, of course. And one of the cool things about a lot of the kids is they end up working in the fields in the summertime.
Yeah,
so,
the detasseling.
So Henry is a detasseler, yes, but right now he's doing a lot of roguing, which is the cool part of the summer work for the kids. If you get on the roguing crew, you've hit it, But no, he's been busy. He's been playing baseball till 12:30 at night a couple times, and then up at 4:30. Oh. So that kid's been going hard and
Character building.
It is, I think. He whines about it, but he comes home tough. He comes home and wants to go golf quick before the game. So I'm like, well, it couldn't be that bad,
I mean, he likes to hit the links. He's got good taste.
Yeah. I need somebody to take him out. And, really.
We
show
should
him
all
the
go
ropes
out.
on the league.
Good old prehistoric putt.
That's a fun place. That is really
Well,
fun.
it sounds like that's my cup of tea because I don't golf anymore. I just drive the golf cart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys need someone to drive the golf
Yeah.
cart for you,
Hey,
I
I
will
can drive
invite
you guys around all you want.
whoever wants to
Well,
come and
me
drive
and
the
you will
golf
have
cart.
races while they're out golfing.
you buy the beverages with it, and I'm fine with that.
I'm really good at tracking down the beer girl.
Okay.
There you go. So, all right, guys, cool. All right, tonight we have a bottle of Russell Reserve 10. If you want to see the bottle, check it out on Instagram at Manhood Neat. It'll probably be on Twitter at Manhood Neat. You can email us at
info@manhoodneat.com
or at manhood.neat@gmail.com. You can like and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. If you'd like to help us out, just tell your buddies, one of them, or your mom, I don't know. Tell somebody to give us a listen, leave us a review, and all that good stuff. We'd really appreciate it.
My mom loves your show. Can't wait for that.
Have we got a comment like that yet?
Not yet. Oh, yeah. If you leave us that comment, you get 5 free points.
That's our demographic. Your mom.
We are still looking for a sponsor for the bunker as well.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to help us out and buy the missile silo to turn into the ultimate bunker / bed and breakfast, we need $550,000. Somebody could donate that. That'd be great. Otherwise, you could just donate to any bunker, which might end up being in Benson's backyard. So,
Yeah, as of today, I think we're under construction.
okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, guys. We have a bottle of Russell Reserve 10. This says for more than 90 years. That's the combined tenure of Master Distillery Jimmy and his son Eddie Russell. They hand select barrels at least 10 years after at least 10 years of aging, resulting in a bourbon that delivers a balance of rich, spicy vanilla flavor. So there's your flavor profile, guys. You know what to say. Their experience guarantees yours. So this is Russell Reserve's 10, and it is a 90 proof. That's 45% alcohol for all you Iowans out there. And we'll give it a pop, a pour, and we'll give it a review.
Good pop.
Good pop. Rob, I'll let you pour your own.
Oh. Some
All
parts
right.
you are.
You want to give me a 5-finger death pour?
5-finger death pour. Delightful. All right, let's jump into our sponsor for this. And I think Benson has that.
Oh, you put me on the spot. Here we go. This bottle is brought to us by Your Mom Jokes. Nothing brings guys together and proves that men stop maturing at 14 like a good Your Mom joke. Perfect for professional, casual, and occasional church setting. Your Mom Jokes break the ice and help everyone feel as part of the group. Creating cheer and camaraderie, this helps to eliminate stress and increase productivity. The benefits of a good Your Mom Joke is proven by science, just like the COVID vaccine. Just ask Anthony Fauci. Sit back, pour a glass of your favorite brown water, and chuckle to a good Your Mom Joke today. Because, hey, your mom went to college.
Nice.
What's your favorite your mom joke?
Pretty good.
Well, I mean, generally it's just whatever someone says, I'll be like, well, your mom, you know. Actually,
mom goes to college.
Normally, like, the thing is actually, and my wife hates it because we've been doing it since we were dating. She'll say something like, you know, like, oh, it's like, you know, I'm getting really tired of blah, blah, blah. I'm like, your mom's really tired of blah, blah, blah. Like, every time. Like, every time. To this day. So it's like going on, like, let's see, we've been married 15, so like 17 years now. Every time she says any type of just statement, I always just say it back with your mom attached to it.
So all you guys that are single out there, you still have a
You
chance.
still have,
Yep,
a chance.
still have a chance.
That's right.
My favorite one's your mom's so dumb she got tangled up in a cordless telephone.
That's not
Now,
bad.
I have to. Do you remember like when you're like? So Dylan, sorry, I'm excluding you from this because
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But when I was a kid,
Zing.
it was
One of them.
like your mom was so fat,
Yeah.
and then it turned into your mom was so dumb.
Oh, sure.
Your mama so fat was still a big one for us.
Okay,
Or like your mama's so short.
Literally a big one for them.
nice.
Like your mom.
People couldn't say that about me though. They'd just be like, your mom is skinny, you're so fat. And I'm like, come on, guys.
True.
Just hurt my feelings.
Dang.
Why do you guys have to burn me with honesty?
Okay. All right. So what do we got on the nose of this Russell Reserve 10?
I am smelling the spice.
Oh yeah. Now,
Got the vanilla.
if I heard through the grapevine,
Apparently, we read the label.
Yeah.
Let me read the label again.
I think there's spice and vanilla in this.
Spice of vanilla.
I was going to say pumpkin spice. I do say it.
I smell 10 years aged.
You smelled it.
So
You've not showered for a
About
while?
10 years and 3 months.
I'm actually smelling a little leather on the nose.
You know, no, I don't know. You're making me
Yeah.
think about it now. You're giving me the placebo effect.
No, good. A fresh leather, not an old leather.
No, like just like a new jacket. Just start rubbing oil into it.
Like a Top Gun
Does
jacket
it smell like mini leather-bound books?
Turkey.
Leather down
Like
book.
Ron Burgundy?
Turkey jerky.
and an alabaster princess and his mahogany
Rich
library.
mahogany?
Have many books.
I do smell a bit of oak on there.
Yeah. You can smell the wheat.
Yep. I get a little graham.
Yeah.
Now, does Russell's make wild turkey?
I was gonna say Cheerios.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Well, technically, turkey makes Russell's.
Oh, turkey makes Russell's.
The Russell, Eddie and Jimmy.
So this is their single barrel, so to speak.
Okay. Okay. 'Cause-
Anything else on the notes, guys?
Nope. Good color. Nice amber color. I taste Cheerio.
Cheerio.
it's extremely sweet.
Cheerios, like Honey Nut or like regular Cheerios?
Regular
It's very
Cheerios.
Regular
sweet.
Cheerio.
Yeah.
That OT-ness.
Yeah, I do.
The aftertaste, yeah.
There's a lot of sweetness there. You ever had a Carmelo?
Yeah.
Anthony?
Yes.
Okay.
No, like candy bar. But it's like a
One of the
vanilla
best candy bars ever made.
caramel. Yeah. So I get it's kind of that more vanilla-y caramel that's in that coming out of it.
I can see that.
And on the palate side, like there's a little bit of that rye spice, just a little bit on the palate.
It doesn't linger.
It's not real long.
No.
Got a quick finish.
Yeah.
Sure.
It tastes like a sweeter working man's bourbon.
It's super comparable to 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, the finish for what it is there, that rye spice really kind of flourishes at the end.
Yep.
I think that's it crescendos into that.
This is a lot less corn forward than 101, but definitely can
Your mom's
taste.
less corn forward.
I'd hope so. She'd be Wagyu if she wasn't.
You got anything else on the finish of this? Otherwise, we'll have to move.
It's
into
definitely a stronger bourbon. It's even though it's the same proof, or it's only 90. It has a stronger.
It's more complex.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I was gonna
flavor
say it doesn't
profile's
have a
better.
huge bite, similar to Double Day, or what was that? Is that what that was called?
Yeah, something like that. Double trash.
Yeah. Calm down. It wasn't
Last week.
trash.
Last week.
That was a week
35.
ago.
It was
How
a
do you
lot
remember?
weaker.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a strong bite, but it does have more flavor.
I think a better way.
It
It's
coats
not,
your mouth better.
I want to say
Yeah.
it's stronger. It's fuller,
There you go.
There you go.
Robust.
robuster. Your robuster.
Your mom's.
This is Robuster.
Your mom's robuster.
I see where this whole episode's
Yeah,
going to go.
it's starting on the downhill train.
You can't just say that to anybody on the street, though. Like,
It's a fight on site. That's a
you'll
Donnybrook.
get punched in the mouth.
That's a Donnybrook waiting to happen.
I mean,
All right.
I mean, you could.
You could.
Just depends on what mood you're in.
How tough
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Some people just want to watch their barrel burn.
There are
How big a boy are
consequences.
you? Roy.
Yeah, what'd you
Oh,
drink
yeah,
today,
Roy
Courage?
D.
Oh,
Roy Mercer.
Boy, are you?
for all our Chinook, Kansas listeners.
I do know who he is. I'm not that young.
That was great.
Roy D. Mercer.
Roy
Day Mercer.
All right, Benson. I need first. Is this a old fashioned or neat bourbon? And what's the score?
I drink it neat. And score 60.
60. All right,
Hey, that's pretty good.
Dylan, what you got?
It's a sweeter working man's bourbon. It basically tastes the same, a little less bite, a little more sweet. I'm gonna go 65.
65. Lewis.
I'm a 55 on this one. I don't remember what I scored 101. I know I liked 101 better than this because it was
A little more bite.
a little more bite, a little spicier, a little more complex than this one maybe. But I think this is great, and I'd drink it neat. And I would throw it in a slush.
Throw in the slush.
But it's not 100 proof.
That's true.
Oh,
Getting called out right there.
Whoa.
Just saying. You sound like you're from Iowa.
Yeah.
Well, rule number 4 says 100 proof only.
that's right.
100 proof up.
Um,
Sorry, Ben. I didn't mean.
It's all right.
We gotta get a score though. You get a score.
I think I'm a 55 on this one.
55.
really great finish. It's really sweet. I mean, even like the lingering finish is even better as it goes. But like I said, it's not overly complex, so there's something just missing there. So yeah, I'd probably give it like a 58.
58. Yeah.
Where you at?
I wish you guys could see Aaron's dilemma right now.
He looks
This is a
disappointed.
real dilemma.
I really want to
I mean,
wear this.
Do you think your mom would like this one?
she's she's like bourbon. So the front, I really like the palette.
Yeah.
On it, I do. I want more finish. I want more.
There's just something not. There's just something not.
Yeah.
Something
So
bolder.
It's like there and gone.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm probably going to be 57. Yeah.
I'm not a proof snob, but I do appreciate that bite a little bit more. It does.
We're working on it. You'll be a proof snob. In a couple
Yep.
weeks.
That's right.
I'm just
By
like I
episode
have
50.
101 in my fridge right now, and when I go home and I like
Your
to,
fridge.
my wife put it in there. Don't ask me.
Oh, don't let her. Oh, okay.
It's kind of good like that. I like throwing
Sometimes
bourbon
it gets a little
in the fridge
thicker,
once
a
in
little
while.
bit thicker coating on your mouth.
What?
With
Yeah.
Now I came over here one time and had a 1910 with you, and you had that crap in the fridge. Don't act like you never done that before.
We had a 1910.
Yeah.
I used to put it in the freezer.
I remember you had a Maker's 46 here, and when I came here to drink it, it was gone. Okay.
It was in the fridge. It was in
Oh
the
my
fridge.
gosh. Bringing up the past.
Yeah. Yo, let it go, Dylan.
I think we're gonna need to work this out. Okay, no more episode. We're gonna have to work this out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Episode changed to mediation.
Yeah. Either that or let's get the boxing gloves and we'll go
So
around.
Aaron, every time I bring a bourbon here, it disappears before I come back.
It's called learn from your past mistakes. Yeah.
Take it with you, or it will be gone.
Or we'll be gone. Yeah.
Are these mom jokes coming from like a television show you're watching or something?
Mom jokes?
You told me like you've been watching Shoresy.
Yeah, but
I've been watching
But-
Shoresy.
but no, but
there's
your
a lot
mama-
of mom jokes in
yeah,
Shoresy.
they are. But your mama jokes come from way before I ever saw any of that stuff.
I like how Shoresy does it though. I mean,
His go a little.
not a very
They go pretty
appropriate.
deep.
They do.
They go deep. Yeah, for lack of a better word.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't watch.
Definitely lack of a better.
Don't
word
watch
there.
that show, listeners.
Yeah. All right. All right. So, guys, do you guys procrastinate?
all the time.
I'll get back to you on that.
Ask Benson.
Touche.
So, no.
Yeah, I'm not a procrastinator.
I absolutely
I
do
do.
as
When it
much as
comes to work.
possible every single day to get as much as I can done so that it's not left for the next day.
Did you nap today?
I did.
So
It
that's
was beautiful.
You couldn't have used that time
Way to go.
for anything else.
No. I didn't want to procrastinate my nap.
Oh,
Part of this whole deal is having the energy to do everything.
Yeah.
Rest, and work are
Way more
you
than I
have
would
to have
like
both of those, to say the least.
okay. So,
Don't procrastinate your nap.
yeah. Do you guys think that we procrastinate in like spending time with people as a culture or as a especially or as maybe even you as personally? Do you put what I mean by that is would you feel would you make sure that you do everything else first and the last thing is building relationships, loving on people?
I feel like it's more like a would you rather game. Would you rather mow your lawn or go hang out with so and so?
I don't even mean like hang out because like
You know what I mean? Like build the
Yeah.
relationship or whatever.
okay,
In some cases.
do you ever feel God tugging on your heart to like spend time with somebody to show them via relationship himself?
Yeah, if I had to be honest. I
Yeah,
probably
this
would say
podcast.
that, yeah.
Wait,
I'm
I'm
talking.
kidding. I'm kidding.
We had to drag Dylan here.
but you're always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. But I
Yeah.
like I got to make sure I get my work all done. I got to make sure I get all the time with my family spent. Make sure I get all the time, my personal time spent. I get two rounds of golf in every month. I get 4 motorcycle rides. I get whatever.
I'd say it's- I'd say
6
it's-
hours of gaming.
Yeah.
Don't-
6
don't
hours of
forget.
gaming. a
I'd
day.
say it's less of like putting other things in front of, but more like I don't really want to do that.
So
Yeah.
I think that's interesting there. And for me, I like when you do as much as like everyone does now, right? Like everybody's super busy. Everyone has all these things going on. I think it comes down to like efficiency carries over to your relationships. Where like I want like 3 really meaningful, deep relationships more than I want to have a cup of coffee with 17 people,
Right.
or get to know 17 families. As much as like I'd love to do that, I think we're in a position now where like as a society, the busyness, which I try to eliminate as much as I can. I could preach about that for hours, but I think for me personally, I want to have more meaningful relationships with less people, but still be in community with everybody. But to spend the time and energy to like have meaningful relationships, you have to be willing to not do other things socially. You have to give up that.
Right.
And I think that's where I'm at, is just being willing to give up something to have more meaningful relationships with the people you're close with.
So, and I agree with you on that a lot. And I think that, like you're saying, it's not so much procrastination as just time management, right?
Yeah.
But what about time? Because so this is going to sound really bad because we have friends that are friends, right? Like like the true meaning of friends. Like we build each other up, we rely on each other. Friends that are family type thing. I have other friends that are ministry. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And that could either mean one now, and it could be two things. It can be friends who maybe are fellow believers who I don't really care for, but they need friendship. And so I feel God has called me to befriend them. Nobody in this room's in that camp, so don't cry.
I was just gonna say thank you, man.
But
Hey, what's up, ministry friend?
yeah, ministry friend. But then there's also friends that we have that maybe you enjoy their time, but they're not fellow believers, and you feel God's called you into those to share, right? So those things take time too. And where I find, like for me, where I find myself procrastinating or putting to the back of the hierarchy of importance, right? Because Benson, I'm right on board. I'm like, okay, I got work I have to do because I got to provide. My family, got to be there for them because like that's next, right? And then I have my close friends, right? That I equate as equal as family, you know. And a lot of people are like, friends can be close. No, I'm a firm believer that friends can be as close, if not closer than family. And so, and that's where my priorities go. And then if I have any spare time in the background, I'll sprinkle it to the peasants, right? but
That's not prideful.
that's not practical. No.
I think there's an episode we can listen to.
But you know what I mean? As far as like, and then I find myself like, okay, so where am I trying to balance that out? But then, you know, and as life's been going on and things are starting to happen and things that have happened, like I realized like there is no tomorrow. Like you can't guarantee tomorrow for you, for anybody else. And so trying to, I don't know about you guys, but like 95% of the time I feel like I'm just done. Like I got nothing left in the tank, right? And I'm just running on tomorrow's energy. And so where do we fix this from procrastination? We want to make sure we don't procrastinate, but at the same time we can't like, there's got to be this balance. And so do you think that our biggest problem as individuals and also collectively as a church is like we like to talk about how we're going to spread the gospel and how we're going to impact people's lives, but we never do it because we're procrastinating? Or do we not do it because we don't have the time? Or do we not do it because we're waiting for some grand plan to come together as opposed to just doing something small?
Do you think it's maybe the definition or the vision you have of what that is that could be part of it too? Like when you hear go spread the gospel, like what do you envision?
For me?
Yeah.
So what I would like to see, I'm very much a meet the people's physical needs before you to show them the spiritual needs. So we live in a very affluent, well, not me. You, Lewis, you live in a very affluent city, right? Like, I mean, Seward and
Seward,
Dillon, like,
the affluent city.
it is Seward. I mean, for the area,
The wealth of Seward is actually
it's
very
good.
surprising.
yeah.
I live in the
95%
riffraff
of the
of
people
Seward.
there are billionaires.
I mean, yeah.
Highest billionaires per capita.
Like Johnson County, Kansas, or something.
And even Utica to a point, but like, in our church is well funded, right? And so I would like to see,
Thanks to the farmers.
yeah. Not this year. You guys are going to hurt.
You're on your own.
Yeah, but I would like to see a food/clothing trailer that goes to the poor communities of like staplers. And show off and stuff.
Jeez, do we?
I'm just fitting into my class when I get there.
Goodness.
You know what I mean? And just but like meets that physical need, and then builds relationships, or like I don't know. I mean, just like to be in the community more.
Okay. So that's your definition of what it means.
That's
to
what I
spread the
like to
gospel.
see.
That's what you like to see, and that's so
Does it-
you're already putting in front of you this
Grand plan.
big
It is a-
grand plan of what the gospel spreading is. So now you're saying, okay, I want to go spread the gospel, and this is what it's gonna. And to me, this is what it means. And oh, by the way, I'm already busy all day long with farming and being a husband, being a father, and all those things. And now, how do I even start something like that?
Right.
So you've already put yourself into a position where demotivation 101 right there, right? Make your vision unattainable, right, to a degree.
So if that sounds like a cool vision to any of our listeners, you'd like to sponsor me so I can quit my job, you can email us at manna.need@gmail.com.
Yeah, not saying you can't get there. Obviously, having dreams and goals is to me is a God-given thing, but but that's what you think it looks like, right? And it's not something that maybe you or whatever sat down and hashed out with God about, like what do you want me to do from a gospel perspective, right? I mean, I'm guilty of this too. I'm not saying this that I've got it all figured out by any means. I'm probably just as guilty.
What was it?
I have some
episode he
vision of what it looks
said?
like.
Oh yeah,
right?
I like to always be right.
I like to always be right. So no, I was just, the only reason I bring that up is just, how the reason I went through that exercise is that I think that's part of it, is that we all have a definition of what that looks like. And it's usually a bigger definition than what maybe it needs to be. And so we're already putting ourselves into this hole of, I just don't have time for that, or I don't have the ability, or I don't have the funds, or I don't have whatever X to make that happen, because we have given it a definition in our minds that's not really realistic or attainable.
Kind of like when we want to like save the world from environmental
Yeah.
issues, but we can't even take care of our own backyard.
Who wants to do that? I don't want to do that.
But I'm just saying, there's certain people that say they want to take on that task, but it's like if
No,
you
I
look
got
at
you.
where they live,
Yeah.
they're being hypocrites through and through. Not saying you're being a hypocrite, but I think we need to start smaller and then expand our way. So make our own bed before we start trying to make the world's beds.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
I think you're right though, Rob. It's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
dude, you're like Aaron. You're a doer. You're a driven dude. You're a big vision guy. I know we're going to do something great like that. It's going to be big and it's going to require a lot of work, and you're going to love it. Okay, and for others, it might be something tinier. I don't know. It might be that like coffee group once a week with 17 people, and hope that 3 or 4 great things come from that. 3 or 4 great relationships come from that. I don't know. I mean,
But okay, hold on. Look where we're sitting tonight. We're all sitting right here in this room because Aaron came to me months ago and was like, "Hey, we're doing a podcast. You're going to be in it, and it's going to be tasting bourbon, and we're going to talk about biblical manhood."
And sit around a table that's actually a door.
yeah, thank you for that too, man. Thanks
so-
for your vision and just doing
So
it.
he threw it together, got it done, got the equipment, and within 2 weeks we were doing a podcast that I thought was just like never going to happen, because 98% of the general population will never actually follow through with an idea.
Yep.
So
But-
I guess I feel like you were super motivated to do that, and you thought it was important, and you got it done, and you didn't procrastinate by any means, because to do what you did in the short amount of time you did it in was like amazing. Because I literally, the day you told me that at church, I'm like, yeah, this is like everybody else that tells me they're going to do something and they don't do it. And it was nothing against you. That's just generally people don't do what they say they're going to do. And so I think procrastination is, I think we procrastinate things that we put a low value on more so than we procrastinate things that we see a high value in.
Yeah.
And I think you saw a high value from this. And, there might be one person listening to this that like finds
That
fellowship and manhood and just finds some sort of connection to this that like we may never know, but you had the vision and the foresight and the action to actually get this done. So it's super impressive. So whether or not you go and get a trailer and pull it around full of food and clothes to like help other people, like
We need it in Staplehurst.
that's a great vision. But like, if you really put a high value on it, Aaron, you could do it and you could get it done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as men with the responsibilities we have to balance everything that we do.
Right.
And so everything is a give and take, because every time we do something, we're giving up something on the other side. And usually that's family, it's work, it's providing. And so we have to make those decisions very strategically.
So I want to ask you something to go off of what Ben's saying. You had the vision for this podcast, right? You presented it to us, and I was like, heck yeah, that sounds amazing. Let's do it.
Oh, you're better than I was.
All right. I think, Lewis, you were similar, right?
I was like-
we were like, let's do it.
We get together and
Yeah.
hang out.
It was a cool idea,
Affirm
right?
each
I
other's
heard it
faith.
and I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
And Dylan was like, "You guys having a podcast?
Yeah.
That's awesome."
Can
I
come?
begged to come on.
Yeah.
We're lucky to get you, dude.
Yeah.
No. All you
the
had to say was podcast. I'm like, I'm in. Where are we doing it?
I love talking on the
He
radio.
told us he would fall
I
down
love
the
talking in
stairs to get
general.
on this podcast.
Oh, how we've grown from that small blue table to this to this door.
No, you just asked me if I wanted to be a part of a super secret society, and I was like,
There you go.
Oh my gosh, the Freemasons are calling.
We haven't
We're
even-
doing
They're
this.
Freemasons.
We haven't even shown him the handshake yet.
No, not yet.
I mean,
Not yet. He hasn't earned it. Don't even talk about it. Remember? No. What I'm getting at is, so had you gotten any less than enthusiastic response from people, right, that you were asking about it, like, yeah, maybe, maybe we all been like, yeah, whatever, maybe if it works out in our schedules or something, maybe we'll make it happen type thing. If everybody that you talked to did that, do you think your enthusiasm would have stayed high enough to continue on down the path to make it happen? Or do you think you might have maybe did a double take and maybe second guessed kicking it off, trying to get it going? And what I'm getting at in this is that from the procrastination standpoint, sometimes having that buy-in of a dream, right? Like you're talking about the whole trailer, thing. And I'll be honest, anybody around this table probably, right? I'm just going to say for me, I'm like, man, that sounds like a lot of work. I'm out, right? I'm like, good on you, but not for me type thing, right? And so you don't have anybody buying in. Now, if you had 4 different people on here that all were like, that's amazing, we got to do that, all of a sudden that feeds that energy, right? And then all of a sudden procrastination is not even an issue anymore. So I wonder sometimes how much of procrastination is the support and buy-in of what we're trying to accomplish or do as well.
Why are you so smart, man?
no kidding, man.
Well, you're just the wisest guy around.
So
I'm too prideful. Don't do that.
as an entrepreneur, I can tell you, and I think Dylan's probably wired different too. Like, when people don't agree with what we are doing, or they think it's not going to work, or they're like, good luck. That's like motivating for guys. I know for him and I, because that's how you have to have that mentality. So I think it probably does have somewhat of a procrastination, but like for me, someone tells me I can't do something, I'm like,
Well, yeah.
oh yeah, here's my pride. Watch this.
So last week, pride can be a good thing.
Honestly,
This is how awesome I am. I'm going to do this thing.
Show you.
And then when it fails, I'm not going to tell you.
yeah, I didn't say anything about pride last week. Like when you guys were saying your definitions, I was thinking about it, and I was like, work is probably
You were
what I
pretty
take most pride in.
self-absorbed looking in that mirror over there.
Yeah.
You were.
Admiring. Look at my arms today.
We started taking the
Sick
shirt off. I was
pythons.
getting a little scared.
You guys don't want to mess with these pythons.
No, I get that too. I've been there.
Yeah.
Similar situations where it's like, you can't do that. Oh,
And it depends.
I'll prove
And
it.
it depends on who it is, and being willing to set your pride aside and listen to those people too. Maybe there's a reason that those people don't believe this is work, or they don't want to do it. Maybe there's a reason for that.
I've just noticed there's a lot of doubters in anything you try to do that's ambitious. There's a lot of people like, it'll never work. And it's like, well, it's because you never tried. So don't come at me and tell me that it's not possible when you didn't put the effort into it.
But see, that's a good attitude. I'd say, I don't know if it's good or bad, right? I'm just gonna say it's an attitude to have to get past the naysayers. I agree with that, right? To the I'll show you, right? There's something to be said for that. I'm just wondering. This is more of a hypothetical, or just seeing things and just wondering. That's why I'm more asking the question. In some of the procrastinations in our lives, is it one, we don't have the spirit of I'll show you, right? I'm going to do this anyway, or is it we don't have the support from somebody or people, friends, loved ones, whatever it is in our lives to say, you can do it. That's a great idea. I'm here to help you. And then we don't do it. So there's something lacking one way or the other that causes us to say, I'm not even going to try that, or I'm not even going to. That's a great idea, but now all of a sudden we start throwing things in front of it to make it excusable not to do it, like work. Oh, I'm busy.
I don't think you could have nailed that on the head anymore. I have so many friends that are just like that. They're like, oh, I wish I was doing things that you're doing, but my wife doesn't want me to, or this, and it's like
whatever.
Yeah, I hear a lot of guys who are like, I'd love to ride motorcycles, but my wife won't let me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right, so you tell me to look in the mirror, huh?
So I think what Rob and I are saying is Aaron, Ben, and Dylan keep talking about that silo that we're going to buy, and keep praying for God to bless that in some way. How would that be a blessing to
I don't know.
His kingdom? I don't know.
What? So you're talking about a bed and breakfast that can keep us alive during a nuclear holocaust? How's that not a blessing?
A commune where we can
It
all
could come in handy during
constantly join
the
each other?
zombie apocalypse.
That's
too.
right. That's right.
But if Jesus comes, how is he going to find us? We're going to be in the bunker.
Oh no, he'll find us.
We'll still go in the sky.
Oh, okay.
All I can think about
Unless you're a you think what's that? Oh, never mind. With the whole,
So would we come out of that like a missile coming out of the silo?
Oh yeah.
The door goes up.
your mom's looking missile. All right, so
Right back to it.
All right, back to it. So, do you guys ever think that one of the reasons that we procrastinate when it comes to people, right, is because we don't feel or don't think of things as being not imminent, but
Like a divine calling or something?
no, like I was trying to think like you think like you might think it's a divine calling, but you're like, I have tomorrow to do that.
Oh, there you go.
I heard from a guy who I don't remember his name, but he had David Goggins come live with him. He's like a billionaire entrepreneur guy who had David Goggins come live with him for like a couple months and give him kind of change his mentality on life because he was hitting a slump. And I heard him talk. I don't remember who it is. I'd have to.
I gotta.
For those of you who don't know who David Goggins is,
Navy
he's a former
SEAL.
Navy SEAL who does extreme. He's like just
Extreme everything.
extreme everything. Like
he's got the world record for pull-ups.
well, he had
Cameron
Had it.
Haynes' son beat him.
That beat him. But he is super extreme about never being comfortable. Super extreme about always pushing himself beyond his mental and physical limits.
Who's going to
Always-
carry the boats?
Yeah, like who's going to do? Yeah, so he's the guy that like won't sleep on a bed. He'll sleep on the floor. He won't.
So, and how does
He
that
won't-
better the world?
I don't know. I'm saying it. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying that's just to give you a reference of who David Goggins is and why this story is
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, well, and David Goggins started talking to him about perspective and asked the guy, like, how often do you see your parents? And he's like, oh, maybe twice a year. And he's like, well, how often do you think they're going to live left? And he goes, maybe 8 years. He's like, so you think you got about 8 years left with your parents? He goes, you only have 16 more times you're going to see your parents before they die. And it's like, I think we need to think in that perspective when we talk about having intentionality, not procrastinating. It's like, we might only have 40 more times to see each other before it's all said and done, kind of thing. And once that guy said that, I switched my mentality. I'm like, okay, I'm already an extrovert for those who don't know, but I really, really want to intentionally see people more and more.
But what kind of people are we talking about seeing? Like if these close
Ben's
people
about
or these
quality,
like,
not quantity.
like I'm like, and here's why I asked that, and I'm not trying to be negative because like here's why I asked that. I think seeing our family, seeing our friends, those are all good things, but like we connect with people on different levels, and if you don't go into this time with other people with the right frame of mind and the right like just joy that you should have, like it's not going to do any good to like you procrastinated for 5 weeks because you don't want to do it, and then you do it, and it's completely meaningless for everyone involved because you had to get there and force yourself to do it.
So what I mean, what I'm getting at is, I've had people in my life at different stages, right? So whether it be college, post college, whatever, that I built a basic friendship with. So like we'd hang out, watch football game, whatever, and I felt a call to like, no, like this is a person I need you to dive into, right? Like I need you to show who I am to this person in a deeper way than the general public you're around, than most people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you ever felt that. Like, God's like, I brought this person in front of you. And I was like, okay. And I built the relationship, but I never like went into anything like Christianity wise, as far as other than he'd be like, oh, well, you want to go down to Molly Brown's in Daytona? I'm like, no, it's not my scene, dude. Like, I'm not going to go to a strip club. Why not? It's not what I do. No reasoning why, just that's not what I do, right? And so, and then I was always like, okay, eventually, I'll have the talk, right?
We'll have the talk.
We'll have the talk, or whatever. But but then guess what happened?
You never had the talk.
I moved away.
Yeah.
And now they don't know how sex works.
Or they know too well.
I have no clue.
He's like, dude, I've got 13 kids. I can't stop having kids. What's going on here? Yeah.
If only.
But you know what I mean? And so like, and then like, I don't know. So there's that, and then there's been other things that have happened throughout the years. And
Well, so can I speak to that real quick?
Yeah.
So like that is a calling that you've got, or a spiritual calling that you've had that you believe is from God to do a thing. What that thing is should not be procrastinated. It's really hard to do when he does that. I mean, I actually sat down with a good friend of mine years ago before he got married, and I like shared with him how like Jesus changed my life. And this kid and I were like, I mean, we did all the wrong stuff together for years. And so like this was a very strange conversation, but it was like one that I felt called to do. And I made a very specific trip, planned it out, got it done. But like those types of things should never be procrastinated, because God will continue to poke you with those things until you do it, which is great. But they're also some of the absolute hardest things to do. I mean, I think about my wife. We stopped at a random house in Garland like 2 years in a row around Christmas. She absolutely had to stop there. She's like, I don't want to do it. Will you go with me? We took the kids. We stopped. Great guy, veteran. Like, he lived by himself. Like, we chatted him up. We gave him Christmas candies. We invited him to church. He totally declined, shut it down. But like, she felt that way and did it. But she did procrastinate it for several weeks. Like, am I really supposed to do this? This seems really ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And so they're very, very, very hard things to do. But if you really feel called to do them, like the procrastination piece is our human nature, not wanting to do something that's super uncomfortable for us, usually.
Do you think he sometimes too asks you to do things that don't necessarily have the outcome you think are going to have?
Right.
But he asked you to do them anyway, right? Like to your point, like your friend, right? Share who I am with him. Let's say you did, but maybe nothing changed to comparably to where you left him when you left that friendship. What if, let's say, exactly the same thing happened, except you had shared? Do you think that's more of a God just asking you to walk in faith and not?
Well, I mean, that goes back to the last episode where I chastised Dylan for not being at the previous one, where I said that being obedient to God in ministry or in evangelism is between me and God. Mm-hmm. And so I think that part is true. And so we can get into a like a theological like loop here. Whereas we have like, we are called to act and we're called to be the church. The church is the manifestation of the physical body of God, of Christ today, because Christ ascended, right? So we are the body of Christ is now the church. And then, so we're supposed to do things, but God, it's up to God to soften hearts. I mean, it's just this we could get into a real deep conversation on that, which I'm not smart enough to do. But
You're so humble.
What if, what if that happened and you were just oblivious to it, Aaron? Like the time that you spent getting to know that person, the care and the kindness that you showed them. Maybe the Holy Spirit was working and you were just completely like, oh, I missed that.
Which could be, but I know for a fact that there was times God said, "Go do this," and I was like, "I'm just going to do it tomorrow."
You
So you're being Jonah.
So God can use my lack of obedience for His glory,
True.
but I'm still being disobedient. So, I think that we are,
Maybe that was a witness for you.
well, our learning experience, yeah.
He takes every experience like that, Aaron, and he prepares you for something that he's going to do down the road. So if that same situation happened tomorrow, how would you approach that same situation?
Well, I'd be more proactive, yeah.
Because you had to experience what you experienced to get you in a position to do the next thing.
Right.
So, do you think though? What I'm asking is, so do you guys know who Francis Chan is?
Who?
Francis Chan.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So he's got this really cool analogy.
The book Crazy Love.
Crazy Love.
Never heard of it.
Right.
I
So
don't know what it is.
That's our newbie Christian over here. Jeez. Everybody knows Christian.
I'm a rookie. My bad.
Do you even read, bro? Yeah. So
WHITE.
I read it
Noob.
in a book.
So his like one cool analogy is that the modern church is like a teenage. So if you tell your teenager kid, right, go clean your room, and then like an hour later you go back and you're like, did you clean your room? And they're like, no, but I invited my friends over. We sat around. We talked about what it would look like if we cleaned our room. We developed a plan of how we would clean the room if we were to clean the room, but we just haven't gotten around to cleaning the room yet. You'd be like, no, just go clean your room, right?
Just do it.
And so basically his point, his reference in that is that like a lot of churches spend a lot of time talking about what it would look like if we did these things. What it would look like if we were salt and light and whatever. And so, and honestly, like, and Lewis,
What if that in that example you gave? What if God was preparing you to quit listening to these dreamers and go ahead and order that podcast equipment and
buy a trailer,
start reaching millions of people like we are every week?
a millionth person, yeah,
Millions. A person.
a person.
I mean,
No, but I mean, so, but well, and I didn't even take it like a step further. Is what I've been thinking about is how many people, and like not only are we not as far as the Great Commission aspect, but just how many things pop into your head that, and I don't want to say pop into your head like that you feel are super like God talking to you, right? We talk about how's God talking to you. So like these thoughts, you come to your head, you're like, why am I thinking this? This is God like working with me. And so that we don't do because some kind of procrastination reason. We don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. We don't have, whatever. But we're seeing a decline. Like we got the no one is sharing the gospel. No one is correcting the church, right? There's no accountability in it. And is all this because we're procrastinating for some reason, or not doing because we're trying to talk ourselves out of it, or because this is just how God is working?
I wouldn't say nobody's doing it. I just think the
majority of people,
a smaller number is, and they are unfortunately having to be the loudest voice out there, right?
So
and there's the quiet majority supporting them, right? Or I say majority, whatever. The quiet.
It's a majority.
The
It is.
quiet. Well,
not in the church,
not in the church so much, but I mean like
it's the remnant.
in
There's a reason
church-
God calls it the
yeah.
remnant in the Bible.
Yeah, in the church, there's people that are very outspoken, right? That are on social media, on whatever, that say the things that we wish we would say.
Oh, I'm saying that it is a majority that is supporting them, is what I was saying, not the majority that's out speaking it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's a huge population of Christians who support that, but would never post it. Would never.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Is that what you're kind of getting
a
at?
little bit. Let's put it this way: if there's something that's happening that's in that's not true, okay, or is in error. And by calling that error out, you're going to cause problems, right? But you don't do it. So you don't call it out because you don't want to deal with the problems. You don't want to deal with the backlash. You don't want to hurt feelings, whatever. And this can be spreading the gospel. This can be correcting error in the church. It can be a lot of things. Mm-hmm. If you're unwilling to do it, do you really believe it?
I think you can still believe it and not do it. I do. I think that's more of a faith. Do you truly have faith in?
How's that any different than when someone says, "Do you believe in Jesus?" You're like, "I don't want to die." Someone say no.
So say that again.
So if you're unwilling to deal with backlash for standing on truth, do you really believe the truth?
I think sometimes it's just our sinful, weak human nature, and we're afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're conflating cowardice and belief. I mean, it may be cowardly not to stand up to it, but doesn't mean you necessarily don't believe it.
And even sometimes when you're called to witness, or you're feeling like, oh, I need to do this, and some people just doubt that God could use them, you know.
So I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing or the right thing. But so you're basically talking about a biblical truth that you believe, and then procrastinating or not choosing to address that biblical belief because of backlash.
Right.
So I couldn't sleep at night. Like I wouldn't be able to
it would haunt you knowing you were being
walk
cowardly.
away from the situation and feel that I had done the right thing. If it was presented to me in a forum where I could speak or do or change. Now, if I'm reading someone's post on Facebook and it is ridiculously incorrect and untruthful and everything else, I'm going to scroll by it.
Yeah, who cares?
Because I'm not going to affect any sort of change in that situation. But if I were in a situation to affect change on something that I believed or was asked my opinion on, and I knew that it would hurt people that oppose that view, I mean, I would address it as lovingly as I could, but I wouldn't be able to walk away from it without... I wouldn't be able to walk away from it and then feel good about the situation.
Without addressing it.
I don't know if that's exactly what you're
that,
talking about, right? Because you're talking more like you're faced with that situation and you feel God's hand on you to move and say something, but you choose not to.
You choose not to.
Well,
right? Is that kind of what you're saying?
I am, but he's right though. So if you can't sleep, that's God working on you, right?
Oh yeah,
and that's what that is.
Or you just stayed up too late. I don't know.
No, you can sleep if you stay up too late. Yeah, no, I'm just saying like there's you know that
burrito.
And Aaron, the discernment of that is this of God, or was this Satan? Like was he, then discerning what the voice was this peace and truth and understanding and love, or was this like arrogance and pride and wanting to say the right things and be the person like
yeah.
I mean, discerning the voices that are, you know, because there is a spiritual warfare all the time.
All the time.
yeah.
So where did this voice come from? Do I believe it? Does it stand on truth biblically? Can I find this in here? And if I believe it to be true, then yes, having the courage.
Yeah, and then
having the courage to then stand on that and say, look, this is the truth.
And you just got to be walking with him daily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not going to have that courage without him.
Yep.
I heard something, I think it was today or yesterday. I don't know. I heard it was pretty good. He was talking about Daniel and how Daniel, you know, walked. He had a lot of times in his, you know, starting early where he was faced with challenges, right? And do the right thing, do the thing that God's leading him to do. And he said, and the way the guy put it, it was pretty good. He said, you know, he started off with the more smaller, more insignificant things. We'll call it that, right? Insignificant. Like one of the first tests was not to eat the food prepared for him, right? That was early on. It wasn't really about the food, right? So much as it was just the obedience to it.
Right.
And what he was saying was that God sometimes will start to test us so that we build up that faith and build up that that strength, if you will, right, to then do the harder things down the road. Because then Daniel's test got harder and harder to the point where all of a sudden he's getting thrown in a den with lions, right? To not.
And that's a pretty power move. Like if you're a king, like if when I become dictator, like I'm gonna have a pit with like
When
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Anyway, but I mean, just think about it, though. Like that's what God does, and sometimes I think, just what we're talking about. Some of these things that seem, we say procrastination, but maybe that's what God's doing, is trying to get us ready for the bigger things. Because who's to say if I procrastinate or don't do what He's telling me to do today, which seem almost they're almost so trivial sometimes that we can easily make excuses to not do them. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, right? And we say, okay, well, I'm busy, or I'm this, or I'm that. I'm not going to do that, or that's just not me. Whatever excuse, throw it at it. But in reality, if we think about it in a grander scheme, there might be something down the road where He's like, I was putting these in front of you so that when this bigger trial came, that it wouldn't even be a thought. You would just do it. And so that kind of scares me to think of it in that perspective of like, oh man, I should not be afraid of these small things. Like this is my training,
Right.
almost, right? Like, this is my training time. Whether what I do goes this way or that doesn't matter. It's more about the obedience to it, so that when the bigger thing comes, I'm there. I'm ready.
Right. Well, God's our Father, right?
Absolutely.
He loves us, and all of us as fathers think about the stands that we take with our kids on the little things. We're hoping that they make the decision when the big things come. And He gives us grace. We should give our kids some grace, but continue to present them with opportunities, right, to make the right decisions, and that's probably what God's doing.
But then also give yourself grace when you don't,
Yeah.
when you screw up, when you don't follow, when you don't do the thing you should do. Just give yourself grace that you'd give other people.
And grace is admitting it, right?
Right.
Hey, I saw that opportunity. I didn't take it. Lord, help me have strength for the next time so that I do listen to your voice and I do follow through.
Wait. Are you saying I don't have to beat myself daily for this?
No.
I'm saying you don't.
You need to beat yourself every day for this.
Aaron,
You should probably go to farm gym tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going to come to farm gym tomorrow.
Yeah, farm gym.
I'm going to the farm gym tomorrow.
Aaron, catch this
It's
baby
only
pig.
like 3 miles from your house.
Catch this. His farm gym's in his tractor.
Nah, I gotta haul grain tomorrow.
Well, nowadays you could almost put a pull-up bar in your tractor and it just
That's
push a
true.
button and it drives itself. And Aaron does pull-ups while he farms.
No, I eat potato chips.
The whole workout thing's just really hard.
The struggle for him is
like-
opening the bag.
Working out's great, but I always get out of breath and start sweating. So I'm like, stupid. Yeah.
Farming's hard.
Yeah, I went over to Benson's house to just look at his roof.
Oh,
and
don't.
He
don't.
was
I hate it when people just show up at my house. I work out outside.
Yeah, he was doing CrossFit outside. I'm like, what a maniac! Like he's like, hey, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna do some workouts. I'm like, where? He's like, outside. I'm like, you're okay, all right. And what
awesome,
a
man.
just a driven dude. He just maniacally driven. I'm like,
Stud.
Are you
I
like
could-
flipping tires over and
No,
throwing
no.
ropes and stuff?
he was running, which is like
punching
my
his
ultimate
running?
curse.
Oh, that's the
Next
worst.
time you have a calf out there, just pick it up every day. And the next day, pick it up a little more.
Yeah, throw it on your
And then-
shoulder.
And the next day,
Pretty soon it's gonna be a full size cow.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like walking around with the whole cow on
Bench
your
pressing
back.
cows.
I was honestly, I
could lift
was
2,000
borderline
pounds.
envious of you having that determination to do that, because I'll get home after a day of work and I'm like, no, not happening
Everybody's
today.
got
No.
excuses.
No.
I know, I do have an.
It's okay. There was a long period of my life when I grew my business and didn't take care of my body, and then I decided one day that I was going to take care of my body.
See, I'm just ready to go like to heaven. So I'm like,
Yeah.
why do I need to
Take me now.
Take me now.
This is a worthless vessel.
diabetes?
Let's smoke some cigars and drink some bourbon.
Oh man.
I just justify
Yeah, I
it by
think
saying if
they-
I carry shingles, that's a workout.
I think they call it yogging.
Yogging.
The J is silent.
Yaz
I don't know.
flute.
Ogging.
They just do it for fun.
They seem to enjoy it.
Good movie.
All right, guys. That was a good talk, I guess.
Did we hit the mark at all?
No.
No.
Did we
I
even
don't
talk about
I
it?
don't think I followed my outline at all. But we're
That's
we're
okay.
good.
Sometimes it's more genuine this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always genuine. We're never scripted.
Never.
Never.
No.
Ish.
What if it's not always the big stuff though? What if it's just like, just make eye contact with that guy and ask him how his day's going. We hear this all the time right now. Like, just be kind. I get that meme in my Facebooks, like every day. Like, just be kind.
But in all reality, what
Well-
you just said is true. If you didn't have coffee standing there talking to me one day at church, we would never know each other.
Right.
Wow.
So you don't know how you could affect somebody,
Yeah.
and let
You
God
too could have a
God-
Dylan in your basement.
Let God work
You
through.
too could have that gremlin in there. Just don't feed me after midnight.
You're the largest gremlin I've ever seen. I thought they were like 3 feet tall.
I'm not going to put a coexist sticker on my car or anything just quite yet, but you know,
No.
No, I know what I'm getting them. He doesn't even know it's on there. I'm just going to stick
put that
Slap
on
it on
there.
there.
I will.
Well,
I will hunt you down.
I'm totally putting that on the Jeep.
I'll call one of your cohorts and
I'm totally doing it.
You know, and this is like, well, crap, we're going to go way off.
tangent.
Who cares?
Angel alert.
Yeah. I don't have that anymore. I'll just go. But, you know, it's crazy though. It's like sometimes God calls us like to do these like really like loving, like outreach type things, right? And other times he's like, stand on truth and it's going to piss everybody
It's
else
gonna
off.
suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
You're gonna lose buddies. You're gonna tick off your. You might even tick your wife off or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Or your elder board.
That could happen.
So, all right. Anything else, guys, before we close it down?
We better get off the air.
Yeah,
before
you're
we-
No, all I'm going to say is like,
your mom closed
all I'm
it.
going
Your
to say is I understand, but at the same time, friction is healthy. It's
Yeah.
how it's dealt with.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you hate to see friction with people and cause friction, but at the same time, stand on truth, cause some friction. If
Yeah.
it's the right thing presented in the right way, you can work through it. And if people are unreasonable or people are ridiculous, then you can't change that.
No.
So,
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron.
right.
And look to the truth. There's only one. Open up that book.
All right, Lewis, close us down.
Oh man. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for being the perfect Father, for being the sovereign God that knows all things, that's not surprised by anything. We thank you for that. We thank you for sharpening us even when we think we're dull, and we just pray that you continue to give us opportunities, Lord, and let us be your hands and feet and build your kingdom. You've called us to do that, in fact, and we just pray for strength that we would listen, and we ask that for all of our people here and all those listening, all 5 of them, and we just pray that they would feel that call as well, and glean whatever you wanted them to glean out of this conversation, and we just thank you most of all for your Son Jesus that makes it possible for us all to be in heaven one day, and we ask this in His name, Amen.
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 All right, guys. Again, we just thank you for joining us. Tell your friends. We'll catch you next time on the Manhood Neat podcast.
Tell your moms too.
Tell your moms too. Mom, this is the Manhood Neat podcast.